Web apps are applications that are not installed directly into a person's device, but are rather accessed through a browser whenever a person wants to use them. Generally speaking, any device with a browser is able to access a web app. So in this video, I'll be introducing you to web app development. I'd like to welcome you all to our new section, Web App Development. In this lesson, we'll be learning a few terms and concepts associated with those terms, which will help us as we dive into web app development. We will be looking at the internet and the World Wide Web. I thought it's the same thing. Clients and servers, websites and web apps. I thought that's also the same thing. Let's start with the internet and the World Wide Web. And yes, these are in fact two different things that are however related to each other. First, let's look at what the internet is. To understand what the internet is, we need to first understand what a computer network is. So what is a computer network? Consider a bunch of computing devices, whether it be PCs, laptops, smartphones, tablets, and printers. If we then interconnect a group of these devices, we form a computer network. So a computer network, simply put, is a connection of computers or computing devices in such a way that they can communicate with each other, sending and receiving data from each other. Now, the connections could be through either cables or it could be through wireless means such as Wi-Fi. You've probably seen a computer network in work or at play when you are, for instance, at the workplace or at school or university, and there are certain things that you are able to access only when you are at the workplace or at school, but the moment that you leave, then you are no longer able to access them. The reason for that is because when you're at school or at the workplace, you're connected to the local or private network there at school or there at the workplace. And the moment that you leave, your computer or whatever device, whether it be a phone, is no longer connected to that network. Now, there are many computer networks all around the world, in fact millions, and many of these are interconnected, forming a global network or a global computer network known as the Internet. So another way of looking at it, we could say that the Internet is an international interconnection of computers or computing devices, phones, computers, etc., allowing these devices to communicate with each other. So now that we know what the Internet is, what about the World Wide Web? You see, some of the computers in the Internet have documents or files that are written in a specific format or using a specific language. These documents, together with other resources such as audio files and videos, have unique identifiers. Furthermore, these documents can have references to other documents and other resources in other computers anywhere in the world. This then forms a network of these documents and resources from all around the world. Again, with these documents interlinking to each other through these links, which are known as hyperlinks. This network of these documents, which are interlinked together with these resources, all having unique identifiers, is known as the World Wide Web. Now that we know what the Internet and the World Wide Web is, next we'll look at clients and servers. Let's start with servers. Simply put, servers are computers in the Internet that serve other computers. So the responsibility of a server is to receive requests from other computers and then respond back to those computers. The computers that make the requests, on the other hand, are known as clients. In the same way that when you, for instance, go to a restaurant, you'll find other clients also desiring to be served, and there'll be someone there ready to serve you and all the other clients. Therefore, in similar manner, a server is a computer in the Internet that's ready to receive requests from other computers in the Internet known as clients and respond back to those clients accordingly. And by the way, when a server is seeking to fulfill its request from its clients, it can itself make a request to another server or other servers. And in this sense, the server itself becomes a client, making requests to those other servers. Next, let's look at websites and web apps. So firstly, what is a website? Consider a server. Remember what a server is? It's those computers that are responsible for receiving requests from client computers and then responding to those requests. So let's consider a server. So a server can contain certain documents that are written in special languages. In fact, 3 languages to be specific: HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. These documents can contain content such as text, audio files such as MP3s, videos such as MP4s, etc. These documents are known as web pages. Now, one or more web pages contained in a server form a website. Client devices that have browsers installed in them are then able to make requests to that server, requesting for the web pages of the website that is contained in that server. So simply put, a website is a collection of web pages, with web pages being documents that are written in a special language containing text, audio and videos, etc., that a client's browser is able to interpret after having requested for that web page from a specific website that is hosted or contained in a server somewhere in the world or somewhere in the internet. What about a web app? A web app is in fact a website, but a website that is not simply showing content, but rather takes input from the user and responds accordingly. So though all web apps are websites, not all websites are considered web apps. If the website just contains pages that mainly show static content, then it's simply a website. If, however, there is interaction with the user, such as social media websites that take in input from users, such as when the user posts pictures or videos or simply posts updates, then it is a web application. In conclusion, the internet is a global connection of computers from all around the world, with these computers being able to communicate with each other. The World Wide Web is an interconnection of documents and resources such as audio files, videos, etc., which are able to be accessed by users through browsers. These documents are called web pages, and a collection of similar web pages in a server is called a website. A website that does more than show text but has interaction with the user is known as a web app. And that brings us to the end of our introduction to web app development. You can watch other tutorials over here, and most importantly, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss out on tutorials as they come out. Have you subscribed? Are you done? Okay, cool.